Foodie, hi, it's Anna the Keto Foodie here. How do you actually start keto? Like actually start it? Well, I've got 10 tips for you if you are a completely new beginner and don't know what in the world this is about. Stick around, I'll explain. Step 1, understand what keto is and how it's supposed to work. Now I have a video that I'll link to up here, but by all means, do your own research. Understanding what it is and how it works, I think, is fundamental in order for you to have success on the keto program. If you don't, and you're not really sure how it works and you're just jumping in, I think you're gonna have problems. And it's almost like building something without reading the instructions first. You can't make informed decisions if you don't understand how it works. So that's step 1. Step 2, decide what version of keto you want to follow. Now there is what's called a strict version of keto, and that one means that you're consuming less than 20 net carbs per day. For a lot of us, that's going to be a shock to our system. So what I did when I first started was I did what's called a lazy version of keto, something that has a higher carb limit. So I was working on 50 grams of carbs per day. Some people even use 100 grams of carbs per day. And I can guarantee you, for many of us, even that is low. So what I did was start off with 50 grams of carbs per day. And then as I tracked it and as I felt that I was ready to go to strict keto, then that's what I did. So once I was ready, I moved it down to less than 20 grams of carbs. So decide which one you want to do. And that's step 2. Step 3, calculate your macros. Macros or macronutrients are the part of food that actually gives you your calories for the day. So if you know how much you should be eating and in what proportion, then I think that also helps with your success. It's easy to calculate. You don't have to actually do the math. There are macro calculators all over the internet if you want to just keep it easy. I have a video, which I'll link to up here, regarding calculating your macros and why that might be important. And you can use that. I also link to a calculator within the video as well. So you can use your macros to ensure that you understand how much you should be eating every day. That is step 3. Step 4. Find out which foods you need to stay away from, and more importantly, which foods you can actually eat. And for me, dietdoctor.com had the best visual graphics regarding what you should eat and what you should really stay away from. But you can continue to research on the internet, but really find out which foods to stay away from and which foods you should be eating. And if you understand that, you'll also see that there are a lot of foods that you can actually have and make into some amazing dinners. And this way you will not be reduced to days and days and days of eating just eggs and bacon. Now, I love eggs and bacon, but I can tell you, I can't even remember the last time I made eggs and bacon because there are so many recipes that you can have. So make sure that you understand what you should be putting on your plate and what you should be avoiding, because they either are a bit too high in carbs or too high in their natural sugars. That's step 4. Step 5. We haven't even gotten to actually starting keto yet, have we? No. Step 5. Get yourself a food tracker. Now, whether it is pen and paper or online or an app, tracking your macros is also very important for success, because you'll understand, oops, I'm going a bit overboard on perhaps my carbs or my protein, or ooh, I'm really not getting enough fat into my daily foods. My favorites that I've used the Keto Diet app, and that's the one I currently use, but also the one I really, really like is LifeSum. Now that one is a subscription, so you'd have to pay a monthly fee. If that doesn't fit your wallet, then the Keto Diet app is a one-shot payment, and it's not a lot either. And they are packed with keto goodness as far as tracking things that other people might not have tracked, being able to create your own custom meals, even for some of these apps, adding your exercise. Get yourself a macro tracker. That's step 5. Step 6, actually start keto. Now, this one can be confusing, but really, for me, one of the best things that I did was actually just research and do a search on the internet for keto recipes. So if I was looking for a breakfast, I would search for keto breakfast recipes, and I would choose the one that I thought fit me, and got the ingredients and made them. Now, usually the recipes come with macros so that you can find out exactly how many macros there are. Now, granted, depending on the ingredients that you're using, that will change, but you can at least have an idea of what you're eating. Once you're ready to move on to lunch, you can do the same for lunch and search for that. You don't have to actually constantly live on salads, like I said, or eggs and bacon, although I do love eggs and bacon. But researching recipes so that you can have a specific idea instead of trying to figure it out on your own. Once you have had recipes and once you've tried something else, then you'll realize that you can start building all of those recipes and you'll have a much better idea of what you can eat on a day-to-day basis. That's number 6. Tip number 7. Replenish your electrolytes. Let me say that again. Replenish your electrolytes. You're going to need them. When you're on keto, you will lose a lot of water weight and just water in general on an ongoing basis. And what happens then is you also lose electrolytes, which are key in having your body function the way it's supposed to. Now, when that happens, you can feel really ill at some points. Now, that depends on how many electrolytes you've lost. You might feel just a little bit of headache or a bit muscle ache, or you can have an all-out what's called keto flu. Now, when you have keto flu, that's usually your body, the shock of really going into a strict keto really quickly and losing all of the electrolytes without replenishing them. You can stave off keto flu by making sure you're adding more salt to your food, making sure you're also eating foods rich in magnesium and potassium. You can also supplement magnesium and potassium if you just want to make sure that you are getting your electrolytes in. Replenish your electrolytes. That is step 7. Step 7.5. Make sure you're drinking water. First of all, again, you are losing water on the keto diet. So make sure that you are replacing and drinking water. One, it helps flush things out. It helps keep you hydrated and helps to keep you working. Make sure you are drinking water. It's okay if you want to drink things like teas, but if they are regular teas, they have caffeine. Coffee also has caffeine, which actually will dehydrate you. So make sure that you're balancing it out with water. You can drink fizzy water, as long and flavored water as long as they don't contain sugar. Those are fine. You can also drink, I think, for me, you can also drink diet sodas. Again, if they have caffeine, they will tend to dehydrate you. But things like a 7-Up Free doesn't have caffeine, so go ahead and drink it. But again, make sure you're getting your water in, and you're going to have to be drinking more water than you think you are. So drink your water. That's step 7.5. Step 8, measure your ketones or not. For some of us, I need to understand where I am. So am I producing ketones? Am I going the right way in general? Now, for some of you, you might do it through the urine test strips. They're not very reliable, but they're an economic way for you to just kind of go, is my body producing ketones, or not? Am I sort of there yet? Now, after a few months, they're really not reliable and they don't necessarily work because your body has become more efficient in making and using ketones. The ketones that you have in your urine are what's left over and are being expelled from the body. So after a while, it might look like you're not in ketosis, but you actually are. It's just your body's actually using it more efficiently. The other way that you can do it is through blood ketone meters, and they get expensive. So again, it's up to you. Research them, make sure that you're informed. You don't even have to measure your ketones if you're following keto. After about a week, you're probably in ketosis. So if you want to completely save money and not do them, then that's up to you. But if you are like me and like to know where you are, measure your ketones. So that is step 8. Step 9. Oh, you're going to have to learn to read nutrition labels, people. You're going to have to learn to read nutrition labels. Now, it's going to take you a bit longer to shop. Don't be scared. It's going to be a lot easier the more you do it to read food labels, but you'll be able to make informed choices about which brands and which kinds of foods you can have, because you can have 2 jars of the same thing, but the ingredients and therefore the nutrients on them can be completely different. So learn to read those labels, learn to understand how many carbs there are based on a serving. In the UK, we base servings on 100 grams of that product, and for me, I think that is fantastic. In the US and other places, it's by serving, and that serving is subject to whatever they decide a serving is. So understand that a tin of tuna may say it's got 1 gram of carb. It doesn't, but let's say it has 1 gram of carb per serving, but there are 5 servings in that one tin. You need to understand that you will then have 5 grams of carbs if you eat the whole tin. Okay, so make sure you're reading those nutrition labels, and then you can choose and make informed decisions about which foods you're actually buying. That is number 9. Tip 10. Pay attention to how your body is feeling. Remember, a side effect of keto is losing weight. The main point of keto is not to lose weight. It is to help reduce inflammation within the body from too many carbs, too many sugars, and too many processed foods. And that has a whole cascade of other happy effects once your body starts to heal from within. My migraines have reduced greatly. There are aches and pains that I used to have that were chronic in my muscles that are pretty much gone as well. There are so many other benefits to being on keto that aren't just about weight. And it's important to understand that, because you are having success on keto if you're feeling better, if you're concentrating better, if you're sleeping better. Those things are just as important as to what the number is on the scale. So that's tip number 10. Bonus tip for starting and being successful on keto, and that is keep learning. Once you learn, once you've tried your recipes, once you've been on it, keep researching, keep finding those videos and those articles on keto, keep listening to your body, and keep finding new foods. Now, if this video was informative, if you found it gave you something to think about, or if you felt that this really could help you begin keto, please let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you would like to find out more and find out when I upload a video, please click subscribe and the bell, because the bell will notify you when I've put up a new video. I really hope that this has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed. Thank you to my patrons. And until next time, I say to you, have a great week, my Keto Foodie Nation, and foodie bye. Foodie bye.